Hello everybody, my name is Adam and welcome back to yet another Planet Zoo video today, where we are going to build in a habitat for the new animal out the North American Animal Pack, and it's the cougar this time. And you can see me here just starting off. I'll just show you this. This is like the first module I made once I got the outside fencing complete. I do end up changing that fencing on the bottom as well. It's just a matter of duplicating it over to create a larger space, then duplicating over again to the other side to make somewhat of like, it looks a bit like an aviary, doesn't it, but some kind of like caged outdoor area for the cougars. We also create an indoor area. You can see now I've deleted that fence. I didn't like it and I decided to go with more of a very more high detailed fence using different metals, different rods, and adding some foliage in between as well. And this is how it looks when I place the fencing all around the actual cage itself. Looking pretty good. Also added some plaster pieces on the path. And then it was time to move on to this building, and this is going to be the main centerpiece, so to speak. I mean, well, the caged area is more of a centerpiece, but this is going to be the indoor area where our cougars can go in and they can relax, they can have a little sleep, and they can eat and drink inside here as well. It's also going to count as the entrance for our zookeepers to be able to go in. But before we get started, just remember, if you're new around here, then feel free to subscribe. If you already a subscriber, then thank you very much. Hit that like button, it is much appreciated. You can also follow me on things like Twitter. All my links are down in the description below, including my Instagram link, that's down there below. And this habitat will be on the Steam Workshop also, so if you want to have this habitat in your own zoo, then the blueprint link, couldn't get it out then, will be down below in the description also. So take a look. Anyway, back to this building, and do you know what? I used the bricks, and I've not really used the bricks before. It's a bit like classic British style of a building this, but again, I didn't want it to be a plain flat roof building. I wanted it to have points and different angles and different areas. And in the inside area we actually create kind of like a realistic environment. So we have a caged off area where our animals can sleep, and our zookeepers can open the cage and let the animals out to the outside caged area, as well as all the props, the necessary props, like what you would find inside an indoor area you have a habitat in any of your local zoos. And I do end up being quite happy with this habitat. Like I said, if you want this habitat, the link is down below in the description. Now cougars, let's talk about cougars. So the cougar is actually the second largest cat after the jaguar. So the cougar is the second largest cat, which is pretty impressive. They're pretty large. But regardless of the actual size of this animal, this cougar is actually related to the smaller felines, including the domestic cat, which I thought was a really interesting fact. So the cougar is actually an ambush predator, which means they pursue a wide variety of prey. They prefer habitats with dense underbush and rocky areas. We do give them some rocks to climb upon inside of this habitat, as well as some climbing frames for them to get more up close and personal with our guest. Just finishing off the indoor area now for our cougars, and you can see I've used brick, but I've also used these wooden pieces as well, just to give it a bit of a different feel. And this is how it came out looking in the end. That's our external area and our internal area finished. But we needed to do some interior design work, and some realistic ones at that. So you can see me here just adding some flooring on the inside, which makes it look, more realistic, and that the zookeepers can easily wash this area down. And then we added the also important bedding for our cougars to be actually be able to sleep upon. And then I added some simple mesh fences to again trying to keep it realistic and authentic. Added some handles so it looks like it's actually functionable. And then it was the front door of the building where our habitat gate, so to speak, would be. This is where our habitat would go out. So I needed a big old sliding gate, and you can see me using the same wooden pieces what I've used for the roof here, adding a handle and adding some external design to that as well with the wooden planks. And then a bit of interior design again with some prop items, again going with that realistic theme throughout this build really. Adding some items you could find, some barrels, some crates, washing down equipment for the inside area of our habitats for our lovely cougars. Once the inside area was totally complete, I wanted to play about with the new seating option. So this is the new seating for animal talk. So we added that in at the front of our habitat, added some fences and added a little wooden trim around it. And then it wasn't finished there. With the wooden trim we added some mulch and then added a bunch of foliage. I always say in this game that foliage really does make any habitat stand out, but in this case the foliage really makes the seating stand out. So we add that in, we get that in place, and it does come out looking pretty good. And I'm really happy that Planet Zoo has now created these seats to be able to do Planet Zoo talks from. That was a tongue twister. Yeah, so that basically, if you run aware with the new update, what released alongside the new animal pack, you can now have your guests sit on these seats. I'll show you towards the end how that looks and that functioning. And that was complete. I think it's now time to get our guest in and our animals in, and I'll show you how this looks. But first we've got to do some foliage and some rock work. As you can see, I've built some basic climbing equipment for our cougars to be able to climb upon, and then some basic foliage and some rock work inside. I wanted to keep this again realistic, plain, simple but effective is the term I like to use. So there's some logs for them to climb along the rocks and a little bit of foliage. And this is how it came out looking in the end. As you can see, our guests are now sat down and getting ready for our animal talk. My name's Adam, this is the end of the video and I hope you have a wonderful day. If you're new around here, feel free to subscribe and like the video, I appreciate it a lot. But I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll leave you with how the inside looks, and I'll catch you in the next Planet Zoo video. See you later.